Alright, what's up YouTube? This is Rich. I'm back with my weekly update. This is take 3, 4, somewhere on those lines. I've been having a hard time this week trying to find the time to dedicate to actually sit down and record my weekly update. Last week I did not film. I didn't feel great most of the week. Work was exhausting. Life was exhausting and it was chaotic. And I didn't have a free moment. I did barely any sewing. I did no cross stitch. It was kind of survival mode. This week, the last couple days, I've managed to find time. I haven't done any cross stitching, but I have some set aside for tonight. I'm gonna work on that in a little bit. Right now, I think I have like sewing ADHD because I just cannot focus on one project. Yesterday I spent about an hour cleaning my workspace off. I got it nice and organized. I got it clean, and as you could tell, it's like chaos has ensued again. I've got my Shibori Quilt project that it's going to be a real long form video when that's all said and done, because I've been documenting the entire process from how I dyed everything to the decision for how I was laying it out, the block size, all of that. It's coming soon. I guess I can probably show you a little bit. So this is kind of where we're at. I went with 8.5-inch blocks, and I've got these strips that go all the way through, and I tried to kind of vary the pattern. I went with I did some grayscale photography to break it down to try and get everything as even as possible, and I don't know how that'll look. It's one of those projects that I want to focus on documenting as much of it as I can, but sometimes it's just kind of a struggle to got the camera up and sit back here and work on that, because I keep starting new projects, which let's just go through what I've got here, and then we're gonna sew as we keep talking, because that's kind of what tonight's video is. You're just gonna hang out with me as I sew. So I finished the majority of this quilt top. It's not completely done. I don't really want to open this all the way up, but this is the family favorites, Sherry and Chelsea. All the blocks are done. All of the sashing is done. All that's left is I have a white border to go around. There's 3 more inches to go around the outside, and then that one will be, the quilt top will be done. I'm still not sure what I'm going to do for the backing on that one. It is what it is. I also will have another full video come out on this project. Yeah, this project. A while ago, I picked up a Moda Camille Ross Kelly jelly roll. I haven't been able to figure out what I wanted to do with it. It's just been sitting on my shelf over there. It was beautiful fabrics. I had theories on what I wanted to do with jelly roll, but I could never make up my mind. Randomly, last week, I saw, I think it was So Yeah, a quilting shop out of Las Vegas, that did it was an old video that popped up for a race quilt. I think that's what it's called, a race quilt. It's just sewing all together in one long strip, and then folding it in half, and then you snip the end, and then essentially turns 1 into 2, and 2 into 4, and 4 into 8, and so on until you get the size that you're looking for. And so I decided that's what I was going to do. And so last night I got this done, and I think it turned out really cool. And just like I'm making a mess on my top here. Just like the other one, I'm going to put a border on it, and I'm going to do a light gray border that kind of matches the little cornerstone pieces that I put in there. I just haven't picked it up yet. I gotta go to the quilt shop tomorrow and get that, and then I'm gonna work on that one. That one came out, it was a little interesting on the size wise. That jelly roll is extremely deceptive, the sheer amount of fabric that's in that. doesn't look like it's going to be that much, but then as I was sewing it together and I had this giant mound of fabric in front of me, it kind of dawned on me that that's going to be quite a bit of fabric. And as it stands right now, it's 56 by 64, which is the same size as the Family Favorites quilt for the most part, with the border, or maybe without the border. I can't remember if it's with or without the border. I'm going to do a gray border on that quilt. I'm going to do 4 inches all the way around, which should finish it out at 64 by 72. And I've got a backing kind of picked out for that one. I think it's an Andover Fabrics. It's kind of a grungy fabric that I think will look really good on the back. So I'm going to go to the quilt shop either tomorrow or Wednesday. Today I'm filming this on Monday afternoon or Monday evening. As you could tell, it's dark outside. But I had time to sit back here and I was going to sew anyways, so I figured as might as well just, make it happen. So because I can't focus on one project at a time, I was watching, I love The Last Homely House with Kate and her daughter-in-law, Anna. And I never thought I would get so excited yesterday afternoon on Sunday when I saw her Instagram post that said that her Festival of Quilts video was going to be live last night. I just got extremely excited about that. So I've been watching all of her videos, and her last video was making these 16 patch blocks. And as you know, I tried making the curtains, and I'm really trying to focus on nesting seams, pressing everything correctly, and getting corners to line up. I struggled with the curtains because I think I made them all 2.5 inch blocks. I'm going to get to cutting and sewing, and then I'm going to talk as I'm going. But I struggled with that one because I made them all the 2.5 inch blocks as it was independently, and then I sewed them all together. And going back, I would have sewed them into strips and then cut them and rotated them how I'm doing these, which you'll see how I'm doing this. And I've just got a light and a dark. And I'm probably using way too big of a ruler for this job, but I like this ruler because it's got the little grippy things in the bottom that makes it so it sticks. But yeah, so I sewed them all individually, and because of that, not all of the lines necessarily you can go ahead and yell at me if I set this down and leave the blade open. Go ahead, post it in the comments. I catch myself doing it multiple times every single project, and it is what it is. I've only caught myself once. I don't know if I should admit that on YouTube. But yes, so I did each one individually. I sewed them all together. By the time I had these long strips, they were all wonky, and the seams were all off. Nothing was consistent, and it just they do the job. They do exactly what I was looking for them for, but it's not really. They aren't what I was expecting. So I'm probably gonna redo that project. With doing strip sets. And then cutting them how I'm doing this project, where I think that'll work out better. But Kate's video last weekend was these 16 blocks, and she used some really pretty K facet fabric. Where's my scissors? which I've mentioned this before, that sometimes, like, I've noticed that my taste in fabric and in patterns and in colors and all of that has changed dramatically since I started this quilting adventure, which, I mean, was Christmas time. It wasn't that long ago, but it's changed quite a bit. So the K facet fabrics have been really appealing. So once again, I also got, I picked up this book from Amazon, Blueprint Quilting, from Anna Marie Perry, and she was on the Missouri Star Quilt Company pitching this book and a couple of her patterns a week or so ago, 2 weeks ago, and I really like these patterns. I love her colors, and so I'm gonna go with one of these ones, and let's just go ahead. And I went by my local quilt store for something else a couple days ago, and these are still sat in here. And this isn't all of them, but these are, like, I picked up some of these. These are the K Facet William Morris recolors, which, I mean, that one's so pretty. If you would have asked me 6 months ago if I would have bought these fabrics, I would have said you were crazy, because that just wasn't really what I was going for. Everything was solids, and that was it. But now I can't wait to cut into that. I have, I think, 2 or 3 more colors that I need to get, and then that should be ready to start that project. With these, I am just finger pressing these first ones, and then I'm going to sew these together, and then I will take them to the ironing board over there, and I will press them the way they're supposed to be. If anybody can tell me, I've tried Googling it, and I don't know, my sewing machine every now and then will just try and eat the corner. It's kind of hard to see. Like, it just eats the corner. And most of the time I have the leader on here that starts it going, and 9 times out of 10 it works perfectly fine. But every now and then it just tries to eat my fabric, and it's really obnoxious. If anybody knows why it does that, please let me know in the comments. But yeah, so I'm just gonna sew these together now, and because I pushed those both to the dark blue, it's the seams should line up. And so Kate used the I think it's actually that same K Facet William Morris recolor that I bought for the Blueprint Quilting quilt, but she turned them into these 16 patch blocks and matched them with some pastel solids, which I love. But I have that for that project. I'm not tapping into that just yet. But I bought these Jolly Bars of more Sherry and Chelsea from Moda Fabric. I got these from Fat Quarter Shop. I think I had intentions of making one of their Jolly Bar quilt patterns, and then I bought one of these, and then it wasn't enough for the quilt pattern, so I bought another one thinking that it was the same collection. It was not. I got discouraged. I set them on my shelf. I haven't touched them. But these are 5x10 blocks, which to make 2.5 inch 16 patch works out perfect. So I'm mixing 2 different collections here. They're similar enough. It's kind of the same theme, a lot of the same color palette. I think it's gonna look really good, but I'm going with a light and then a darker. I'm trying to keep them relatively close. But yeah, so these are what I'm working on right now. And I think that so far on my first test block that those turned out really well. I'm gonna go press this real quick. I'm gonna press this towards the dark colors, which should line up with how I've been pressing these. Oh, hang on, no, that's backwards. Okay, take that back. That one has to press the other way. See, I'm still trying to figure this nesting seams thing out. Alright, these colors probably don't go together at all, but I like it. So, that's what matters. Alright, and then now, too much stuff on my desk here. So now I'm just going to cut these to 2.5 inch strips. And I'm lining up, I can't really pull my camera in closer to show, but I'm lining up one of the lines, the horizontal lines with that seam, and then I'm just kind of making sure that the other two are close. Watch, now that I said that and I did it on video, I'm not going to leave it open again. Because it's inevitable I catch myself doing it on every project. So this may be really boring to some, but I was gonna take the opportunity. I'm not gonna sit here and keep doing these. I just wanted to do my update. Huh. Alright, well this one ended up short by about 1/8 of an inch. I'm gonna have to trim these down just a little bit. I think I can I can cheat that a little bit. So we'll see. Let's see, because these all right. And then we're gonna rotate these two. So yeah, I think this seam right here, I'm gonna go a little narrower than the quarter inch seam. And then just making sure that these nest properly. That seems really good. Over here. All right. Alright, so we got that one. And then this one I need to cheat it just a little bit. So something else that I have really discovered recently is that what I thought was my 1/4 inch presser foot, I mean it's still my 1/4 inch presser foot, but I've been fighting with getting blocks to line up now since I started. And I thought that my 1/4 inch presser foot was good, and I've been kind of adamant about that fact since day one. And the other day I was, how did that get? The other day I was working on, I want to say it was the flying geese, with the new technique that I've been using for the flying geese, and I realized that where I thought my 1/4 inch was actually, I mean, it wasn't a lot. I mean, we're talking like a 1/16 of an inch, but that adds up, right? So I was a little off. So I've had to focus a little more on getting those numbers to line up correctly. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and press these real quick before I'm. All right, and that one that I cheated a little bit is off. Go figure. I think it's because the sewing machine tried to eat the thread at the beginning and it threw the whole block off. So we will see how the rest of it looks, and if I can, I'm gonna leave it in because I think that it adds a little character to the quilt. I've been doing this for like 6 months. I can't be focused on perfection all the time. All right, so we have 16 patch, and I mean, which one was it? It's this row right here. As you can tell, there's a little bit of a gap on 2 of those, and I think it's because I mean, maybe that wasn't even the one that the sewing machine tried to eat. I thought it was. Oh, yeah, you could see right there on that one that it kind of shrunk it up a little bit, which I think pulled those 2 off. Everything else looks good on here. So except for this one row, I'm gonna leave it. I like it. So I'm gonna keep sewing on these for a little bit tonight and see how far I can get. And thank you for tuning in. If you made it this long, 23 minutes in of me just rambling while I'm sewing, then thank you. It would make me truly grateful if you could subscribe and like, leave comment, let me know how terrible this was, whatever. I like interacting with the people in my video or my videos. So yeah, thank you. This is Rich, and I'll see you next week. All right, goodbye.